Hey, Oasis. Hope you're doing well today. Today is a one-man show. And I want to come to you from out of the book of Ezekiel. Still been walking through this, and chapter 45 is an interesting vision that God gives to Ezekiel about replenishing of the holy district of where the temple is, but also it gives in three job descriptions of the prince or the priest of Israel. And there's three things that really hit hard and really hit home of really any time of life, any time of humanity. We want these three things settled. We want these three things handled and taken care of and in place. And so verse 40 or chapter 45 starts off with the district, the land that the priest has, and it's split up into two sections, three sections, one for the temple and then two other sections for the priest and also the Levites to also house and to make sure that they are living amongst the temple area. Previously, they were allowed to live amongst Israel and had to come in to minister. But here's, as it's reestablishing, God is setting in the standard. And as we look at these standards, it's going to look much like the standard that Jesus gives. The first two things, and one of them I really want to focus on, but the first two was one, it was supposed to be reestablish the standard of measurements and weights. This was in the marketplace, and it had a huge impact on social standards of treating everyone equally, but also economic standards of that even across the board of making sure that, man, there's enough to go around and not realize or not weighing on yourself of, I need to make sure that I have enough money, so I'm going to charge these people more because they can afford it. We see that in our marketplace all over the place. But this was one of the jobs of the prince, was to reinstate that standard. The second one was also he was supposed to take care of the oppression of the people. This much coming to of the land that they owned and the land that they were to farm, of hitting into this element of providing some of the land that he had, that the priest had, was going to be farmland for the people to grow. And a lot of this feeds right into the sacrifice, which is the third element of it. And in verse 17 of chapter 45, it reads this. It says, "It shall be the prince's duty to furnish the burnt offerings, grain offerings, and drink offerings at the feast of the new moons and the Sabbaths. All the appointed feasts of the house of Israel he shall provide. The sin offerings, the grain offerings, the burnt offerings, and peace offerings, to make atonement on behalf of the house of Israel." I mean, this right here is a perfect picture of Christ. Even when it comes to putting back the weight standard, the measurement standard, the oppression standard, but also the sacrificial standard. Inside of this, the people did bring their offerings so that the priest could handle the things of the temple and also handle the sacrifices of Christ. And as we're coming into this week, for us here at Oasis, man, we're going to have communion this week. And I wanted us to kind of recenter and be able to, take that effort to refocus and recenter what it is that you boast in, what it is that we come across this area, because inside this feast, the new moon was actually their New Year's feast. And this was hit in the realm of April, May of today's time, today's calendar. But this was a huge element for them of, okay, we're going to start off the year of refocusing. And this is the same element as we come to the table of Christ, as we come to the Passover, the Lord's Supper. We come with a mindset of, and making sure that we are centered in Christ, making sure that everything that we boast in, we boast about because of Christ. In 1 Corinthians chapter 1, the last verse of that chapter, and this is really just man's division of it, but Paul says this, he says, "Your boasting is not good, but boast in Christ alone." And he referenced part of that in verse 6 of chapter 5. It says, "Your boasting is not good." It says, do you not know that a little leaven leavens the whole lump? Cleanse out the old leaven, that you may be a new lump, as you really are unleavened. For Christ, our Passover lamb, has been sacrificed. Let us therefore celebrate the festival, not with the old leaven, the leaven of malice and evil, with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth." And so as you go into this week and as you're looking at the things you're doing, you're having all these conversations, and Thanksgiving is coming up, and it's a lot of it comes into like, how's your family doing? And a lot of times we just spit something out of, oh, the kids are crazy, and it's scheduled. We're excited to have some downtime. But rather than taking that, because I do this on Sunday, and it's, man, take the opportunity to be like, of identifying what Christ has allowed you to do, what Christ has taken care of you, how Christ has put your weights and your standards back in line, how Christ has taken the oppression off of you as we glorify him with our house of having Bible studies and meeting, inviting others in to share the gospel with, and as we celebrate this sacrifice that he provides for us, and letting that be the driving force of our conversations as we recenter ourselves as we come to the Lord's Supper this Sunday. And so I hope you take some moments. I hope you take some opportunities to celebrate that, but also recenter yourself so that you find the places to express that and celebrate Christ as we come into really the time of truly of our own festivals, of today's festivals, but taking notice of, man, this is an opportunity to look at what Christ has provided for us and what he is calling us to do. And so I hope you have a great rest of your week. And we're excited to see you this Sunday. We're going to take the Lord's Supper this Sunday, so make sure you come with your heart prepared, your heart ready, and being focused on what he's done for you. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you later on.